I got to make a confession this morning to you all of the church. I don't like buttermilk. Can't stand it. My mom gave me a bite of lard one time when I was little. Oh my, hate that stuff too. I tried the taste of plain flour. It wasn't very good either. I didn't like it either. But you know what? If you take all three of them and you mix them in a bowl and you throw them in the oven, out comes some really good biscuits. Now that's fat boy food. I like that stuff. Now you take them biscuits and you put a big helping of Dee's sausage gravy on top of it, and that's just like having one foot inside the pearly gates there, I'm telling you. But you know, I'm telling you that to use it as an illustration to you. There's things that happen in our Christian walk that we don't like very much and can make us just downright miserable. But yet, if we be patient and let God get all the ingredients in place and mix it together, in the end, it's like what it says in Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for them who are called. All right, on this trip that me and Tyler had, I'm going to share a little bit about that. There was good days and there was not so good days. We started out in Georgia. I tried to run twice, got wrecked twice. One wreck was after the race was done over. I was fine to wreck, and guy wrecks me after the race is over. So anyhow, Tyler up there, he'd get running real good, and he'd get in a wreck. So that was days that we really didn't like too much. That wasn't what we went all that way for, was to wreck. But yet while we was in Georgia, this man came up, and I seen him there, and he stopped there at the car, and I seen him pull his phone out of his pocket, and he's holding his phone, and he just kind of fumbling with it here. And I thought, okay. And he looks at it, and then he looks at the car, and he says, "Can I take a picture of that car?" And I said, "Yeah, you take a picture of both of them." And so I went up and introduced myself, and I got to talking to the guy, and he said, "I'm a Cherokee Indian. I live over at Cherokee on the reservation." He said, "Me and my wife love racing." And he said, "She's sick and can't be here today." And he said, "I got to have a picture of these cars to take back to her." And I said, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "How come?" He said, "If I tell her that there's Christians at the racetrack, that I met Christian racers, said she ain't going to believe me." He said, "I got to take a picture of it." And so come to find out, him and his wife are Christians, and he was excited that he seen something about God on race cars. And so, you know, that kind of made me feel good that, you know, I always pray at least one person God puts in front of us that we can be a help to. So we went on down to Florida then, and I decided to leave my car set in the trailer, and that Tyler's car was going to be enough work. And I guess I need to back up a minute. We met a guy in Georgia from New York, and I really believe in God crossing people's paths. And this boy's 24 years old, and his dad is a racer in New York, and they do it for a living. And this boy is a tire expert, and we was kind of short-handed, so he agreed once we got to Florida. He agreed to start doing our tires for us, which was just a blessing, a big load off of us. And I told him that, you know, God had crossed our paths. Well, as we're also down there, this guy comes up to me, and he has this shirt, and it says "Racing with Jesus" on it. And I'd heard of that ministry. It's all over the whole United States. And this guy was a pastor from Montana, and he also raced dirt modifieds just like we do. So, of course, we hit it right off, and as we was talking there a little bit, and he was talking about he used to work for the North American Mission Board, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute. I said, "You're a Southern Baptist?" He goes, "Yeah." I reached out my hand. I said, "So ain't I." But he said that he was taking all these people, and he was over a huge portion of that mission board, and he's sending these people out to minister to the lost, okay, and to be out amongst the broken people. And he said that God laid on his heart, you're telling people to do one thing, but yet every day all you are is around Christian people. You're not practicing what you're preaching. So he gave up that position and has went, and he's started like 4 different churches, and he gets them going, and he moves and everything. So it was just a natural fit for me and him to be friends. And as a result, he had me to do the prayer at a couple drivers' meetings, and then we held a church service on Sunday. Now, probably not too many people can say this. We held a church service in the beer tent. Yeah, that's what I thought too when they said, "Where are you going to have?" There was only one tent with chairs in it set up on the property, and that just so happened to be the tent that they sold the beer out of at night. So we used it and had a church service. Me and Tyler, I got to speak some, and Tyler helped me, and we did our fire and glove demonstration, and the guy from Montana spoke some. And, I got to thinking about that afterwards. Maybe we left some of the Holy Spirit in there, and as those men and women might partake a little bit of that night, maybe a little bit of conviction went down as they swallowed each drop of that there. And the last night there, Tyler was really up on the wheel racing. He almost won one of the big races, but a caution it come out at the wrong time. And I believe nothing just happens. I don't know why God didn't want that to happen that night. But then I look back to this scenario here of God's not done mixing there somewhere on something. And as I think about the scenario here with the biscuits, and I look at our trip, there was, like I say, good days and bad days, but yet the trip as a whole was a blessing. There was people that we got to talk to, minister to. I met several different racetrack chaplains and members of that Racing with Jesus group, and we all tried to talk and encourage each other to do the work. And they said it was encouraged to them that they realized they wasn't the only one out there trying to spread the word at the racetracks. And as we go through life, let's kind of think about this once in a while. When the bad stuff's happening, maybe God's just in the mixing process, and that the end will be worth it.